decided to switch gears a little bit and work on the carburetor, since it looks like there was some gas left in the lines. So what I did, and I should have taken some video beforehand. Let me get the fan out of the way. And so basically what I did is I took this top cover off right here, disassembled all the carburetor, took all the different plugs, and then the main jet and and all the plugs out, like right here. There's a plug here, here. This is the main jet. I took the main, well, the adjustment, and then the main jet is right here. You can see where it kind of comes in right up in there. Went ahead and took the throttle shaft out, cleaned all that up. Like I said, took the float out of the bowl. I couldn't get the float off of this pin right here, so I couldn't get the plug out. So what I did is I just cleaned this part up really well with some brake clean. By no means a rebuild, because I reused a lot of the gaskets, like this gasket right here, just simply because I haven't been able to find a good place for parts. There's a Perkins dealer about 45 minutes away, and they kind of act like we have no idea what you're talking about. So anyway, finding parts is not the easiest thing. So the carburetor's good, should be good. I'll start working on making some new gaskets here in a little bit, probably the next couple days. On other things, the next thing I did was I started painting the head. I got it all masked off and everything. That's the color paint I'm using. It's already been primed and everything. So I took a wire brush to it, and then took the Dremel to it, used the Dremel on it a little bit, covered up everything over here and whatnot. So I'm happy with the way that the head's coming along. I'm working on the radiator as well. So anyway, next up is we'll go back in the garage because it's hot out here. Sorry, you have to see my mess. Next up is I'm going to try to get the electrical work figured out. As you can see, I'm working on trying to get the front cover off of the generator. One thing I'm concerned about is, there's a number of broken wires. This is just a covered wire. It's not really broken per se. But things like this, where this insulation has come off of that tube. I don't know what it is. I can't remember. It's in the book. That's probably what I'm going to focus on next. And then I'd like to go ahead and, it's going to look really goofy with the way I'm painting everything. If I put the painted parts back on this engine, I would still have to paint the engine at some point. And so I'm really conflicted on what to do there, because I really have no desire to take it back apart once I get finished. But I don't want to invest the 20 some odd hours it's going to take me to, take all of the components off, wire wheel or clean them up to get them to paint stage. As it is, I would have to paint the block as one big set. That's not really what I want to do. So it might just look really funky for a little while when compared to have painted parts and unpainted parts. So what I have painted and what's finished is out here. I've got it sitting in the sun drying. Here are the two radiator tubes and the Kohler tag that are done. I think they turned out really well. It's not quite as dark or gray as I wanted, but it's close enough. Boy, this was a pain getting apart. I took all this apart to clean it up, and then put it all back together before I painted it. So really, next thing to do is I'm just going to set those parts aside, and the next thing to do is work on the electrical stuff as I'm waiting on the paint on the head to dry. Because really, Also along, to get it to run, I have to, let me get it moved around here. To get it to run, I need to fix the governor switch right here, because that's actually a pair of contact points in there that are just completely corroded. So I've got to get in there and clean that up. I also need to clean up the end of these wires and everything. I might actually just replace this whole wiring set, which goes to the grounds and everything, which goes to this panel right here. If you actually take those screws off, I think this one's loose. This is the ground. I mean, realistically, they actually look pretty clean. So I'm sure the connections are all decent. Obviously, they're probably not ideal, but all the connections are decent. So really, I think what I've got to do is take the mag back off, and then so I can get to this, because there's no way to get that off because it sits in this bracket right here. So you have to take that screw out right there to get it off of this bracket to get that whole piece off, so you can fix the points. So I've got to take the magneto off again. Not a terrible deal. You know, I've marked everything for timing to begin with. So and then I can start, like I mentioned, start making new gaskets for everything. So I think I'm going to use cork for the radiator, and then I'll just use traditional gasket material for the intake, and then I think I managed to save the exhaust gaskets. So we'll see. That's the progress for today. I don't know if I'll get any more. I don't know if I'll get much more done on this, but I can try today. If not, it'll probably be a couple days before I come back to it. So anyway, progress.